SC Disaster Corps podcast, the exclusive podcast that is dedicated to the education of South Carolinians in a variety of topics within emergency preparedness, and the only one that strives to apply that knowledge to increase community awareness, resilience, and service. I'm your host, Cameron Matthews, and welcome to Weekly Shoutout Episode 9. The Weekly Shoutout is SC Disaster Corps podcast method of pleading the goal of spreading community awareness, resilience, and service. Our hope is that our listeners will either become involved in one of the wonderful organizations that we shout out, or if they are looking for assistance, that they find the help they are looking for. Before I begin with the weekly shout-out, Sorry myself would like to let our listeners know that we will be beginning to combine our shout-outs and full episodes together starting next week. The episodes will be coming out on Fridays at noon. So to begin, we're going to start with our community events, the first being Repack the Backpack. On February 27th, Healthy Blue, South Carolina will be hosting the Repack the Backpack at the Anderson Mall. This is where families in the community can come and participate in a non-contact drive-thru event. Provides children with supplies they will need for school. It is going to be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the 27th. And remember, it is a free admission, so everyone is welcome. The first 500 children will receive a free backpack that is stocked with school supplies. For more information on Repack the Backpack, you can go to shopandersonmall.com or call Anastasia Cornish, the marketing director for the mall, at 864-226-7088. If there are any event organizers that would like a shout-out, feel free to contact us via email at scdisastercorps@gmail.com. Moving on to the local organization, this week's local organization that will be giving a shout-out is that of the Celebrate Recovery. This organization is a 12-step recovery program that is open to any individual that is struggling with an addiction. While there's a Celebrate Recovery Church in Anderson, South Carolina, the organization is nation and worldwide, with around 35,000 churches whose mission is to bring aid to those struggling with addiction. For the Anderson location, the Celebrate Recovery meets at 302 West Market Street, Anderson, South Carolina, at Artisan Fellowship. The meeting time for groups is on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., and for any of our listeners that are interested in or need to reach out to the Celebrate Recovery, the contact individual is Heather Carstens at rocketmail.com. Lastly is our online organization. This week our online organization is Career Village, which is an online organization that provides youth across the world to access to information as well as advice for those that are underrepresented. On this platform, students are allowed to ask various questions regarding possible careers and are answered by individuals that have or are working in that field. With a 98% answer rate, students have the ability to have any questions they may have about a career answered, which in return eliminates any anxiety during the job search period. If struggling with obtaining a job, you can go to their website at careervillage.org or even call 917-267-9715 between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Alright, moving on to our information. For any listener who gets inspired to serve this week by these weekly shoutouts, let us know on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at SC Disaster Corps. For those listening on YouTube, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. For our wonderful listeners on our various podcast hosts, as well as anyone who has lengthy questions, feel free to email us at scdisastercorps@gmail.com. Listeners will find both the full podcast episodes and the weekly shoutouts, which are going to be combined now, on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Podcast, and the SC Disaster Corps YouTube channel. For those listening on one of our podcast hosting sites, hit the follow button to stay up to date with the podcast. For those of you listening on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Also, hit the bell icon to receive notifications for our new videos. If you want to learn more about the SC Disaster Corps, AmeriCorps, or United Way, please visit unitedwayofanderson.org. Thank you for joining us today at the SC Disaster Corps podcast. We hope to see you next time, and remember, stay prepared.